Coming to you from an undisclosed location somewhere in the windswept plains of Oklahoma, I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Today is December 7th. This is Politics, a Prophecy, and a Supernatural Report. Our lead story today, China whistleblower with royal ancestry steps forward, reveals video. This is breaking, unbelievable stuff. But first, a word from our sponsor, Trade Genius. Bitcoin hit a record high of almost $20,000. After hitting an all-time high of $19,515, the cryptocurrency slumped to $16,320 about 24 hours later. There has never been a better time in our lives to learn how to make money trading cryptocurrency. That's why I decided to learn from Trade Genius. Trade Genius taught me how to make a profit trading cryptocurrency with their massive library of courses and tutorials. The best part is I became knowledgeable in crypto, all from the comfort of my home. An internet connection and laptop was all that I needed. Tour the available courses Trade Genius has available. And be sure to check out their personal coaching and 24/7 chat room options. Lowest price of the year starts now for the extended Black Friday Christmas holiday season. Please go to www.tradegeniusacademy.com. That's www.tradegeniusacademy.com, or click the link in the description below. China whistleblower with royal ancestry steps forward. Reveals video, photos of alleged Chinese counterfeit ballot printing operations of U.S. ballots for Missouri, Florida, and North Carolina. Oh, there's absolutely no fraud here, though. Nothing to see. Keep moving. Biden's our president. You know, suck it up and get used to it, buddy. Well, excuse us for kind of scratching our heads and going, no, we're not buying this. Or do you realize, as of today, December 7th, there are 1,000 people who have signed affidavits. When you sign an affidavit, you perjure yourself, that's a felony, okay? You go to jail. So people who are signing these affidavits are not doing so in a very capricious manner. They're coming forward because some of these people are deeply troubled by what they saw. So what we've got here is something, in my opinion, is absolutely unbelievable. This is the telephone talking, and they've got this. Ballot printing company, no problem how many pieces to print if payment is good. Customer, these are different papers, so it requires different ink. No problem at all. This is a massive bulk order. Is it okay to deliver? Ballot company, more days needed. Can you ship internationally? Sure. It will be shipped by an international shipping company. How much does it cost to print one piece? Same as I told you before. So something is going on here. It's starting to come out, and it goes back basically to this, that this whistleblower comes forward and basically states that they printed phony ballots in China and then shipped them to these battleground states in America. But there's nothing to see here, right? This is why the FBI and the DOJ are totally asleep at the wheel. 80 million people voted for President Trump, and we absolutely know for sure that there's fraud, massive fraud. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this thing shakes out. Don't believe what you're watching on the mainstream media, because they're all in lockstep. They're all parroting the same line. Biden's the president. Biden's the president. Excuse me. Biden didn't campaign. He never did anything. He was behind in every single battleground state, and all of a sudden, all the polls closed at exactly the same time in the battleground states. North Carolina, okay, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and others. Ohio, some of these battleground states, they just shut down. Arizona, not Ohio, excuse me, Arizona. So it's like coordinated. They all shut down, and then the nonsense started. And we showed this last week, where they're taking ballot boxes from underneath the table. They shoo all the Republicans out of the room. There's only 4 people in the room, and they're cheating. That's what's going on. They're cheating. So prove to me that they're not cheating. And now we know that there's 22 Dominion ballot counting machines that are going to be examined. It'll be very interesting to see what happens. And we've heard this, I heard this last night. So they took one of these Dominion machines and they put equal amount of Trump ballots marked for Trump, equal amount of ballots marked for Biden. So let's say it's 1,000 ballots. So they put these things in the machine. Guess what happened? Biden's ballots came out more, something like 30% more than Trump's did. Well, they put them both in, right? Equal amounts for Trump, equal amounts for Biden. The results should have been equal. They weren't. Biden was ahead by like 30% or something like that. It's absolutely unbelievable what's going on. Expert identifies 200,000 votes hijacked from Trump to Biden in Georgia at the precinct level. Look, this is happening. And it's just amazing the way some of these people stand up and go, oh, suck it up. You know, Biden won. Just nothing to see here. Just keep moving. Why can't you people accept the election results? And they bark at us and they yell at us and call us all sorts of crazy names. Wait a minute, excuse me. I point back to 1,000 people who have filled out affidavits, basically putting their name, their reputation, their lives on the line, because that's perjury if you're lying, saying that they witnessed voter fraud. How many people do we need? It's going to come out, I think today could be unbelievable. We have an inside source. I'm not at liberty to say anything. We'll know more later this afternoon. It'll be very interesting to see what actually happens today on the 7th. We'll see. The same organized fraud that took place in Michigan took place in Georgia on election night. Republicans were removed, the counting area, and then massive spike in Biden-only votes is recorded. This here shows, this little still shot from one of the surveillance videos shows this woman, or this guy rather, in the red shirt, reaching underneath the table and taking these ballot boxes out. Well, you know, why are there only 4 people in there? Why are all the Republicans out? And now we know that one of the witnesses who's been identified basically said, this is bigger than I am. I need to lawyer up. Oh, yeah, you need to lawyer up. If you're engaged in fraud, that's really, especially election fraud. If you're engaged in deliberate election fraud, you go to jail. Jeanine Pirro goes scorched earth on reptile Bill Barr. So many of us have been looking at Barr, and, you know, we've heard this for, you know, Barr's going to drain the swamp, Barr's going to do this, Barr's going to do that. Well, you know, Barr stands up last week and goes, I see no evidence of fraud. Meanwhile, there's evidence all around us. It's breaking everywhere. You won't see it on CNN, NBC, ABC. You won't see it there. You won't see it on Fox News, except for Lou Dobbs and Sean Hannity. Even Tucker really isn't covering it, although he did show the segment where they were pulling the ballot boxes from underneath the table. So where is Bill Barr? And why would Judge Jeanine, go scorched earth on this guy? Why? Because he's laid his cards down on the table. We now know who he really is and who he supports. Where is the Department of Justice in this whole vote? Can you imagine if it was flipped the other way and Republicans were doing this? We'd never hear the end of it. I mean, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, the whole media crazy loons, right? All left wing would be yelling and screaming, and people would be prosecuted, and their attorney general would be all over this like white on rice. Bill Barr, not so much. In fact, he's completely, utterly absent. Utterly absent. Why? Because, as Judge Jeanine said, he probably is part of the deep state. Remember, he was, cozying up with Bush, George W. So I think he's a really smart man. I really like the guy, but he's absent. He's utterly absent from this. A friend of ours, Andy F. of the show, basically said that maybe Barr's standing down deliberately because he knows that elements of the DOJ will just stop all investigation completely and it will never get to the Supreme Court. That's a really interesting tactic, and maybe that's what Barr is doing. We've also heard that Barr's considering stepping down before the end of the year, before the term of Donald Trump ends, and I don't think it's going to end. I think he will win in the courts. I really do. With this type of election fraud going on, how can we possibly feel good about our country when our votes have been disenfranchised? 80 million people voted for Donald Trump. 80 million people. The election literally was stolen from him, in my opinion. Live updates. Trump holds Georgia rally for Senators Loeffler and Perdue. Perdue did not debate. Loeffler debate was incredible. And basically, the Senate is the firewall. If by some chance Trump is not elected for a second term, and I truly believe he will be, because this fraud is going to come out. Trump said something yet last night. He said, you know, you're all talking to the media. A lot of the media is like really happy and jumping up and down and making fun of Trump and all this other stuff. Well, let's see what happens in a couple of weeks here. And I think he's right. Look, there was massive voter fraud. There's no doubt about that. Now we've got smoking guns with the video footage. And once they get access to the Dominion computers and we see the way the votes are switched, this needs to go viral. And patriots need to stand up, which is what we're doing here on Politics Prophecy and a Supernatural Report. I love this. Michelle Malkin, no election justice, no election peace. Of course, she's mirroring the Black Lives Matter movement, but it's true. If you think, as Judge Janine said a few weeks ago, we're going to go quietly into the night when this election literally was stolen from President Trump, and some people were even saying that California went red. I mean, we'll never know, more than likely. We'll really never know, but it was a landslide victory. It was a landslide victory. And in the wee hours of the morning, it was stolen from him by the Dominion software, by Hammer Scorecard with the Dominion software. That's how this whole thing came down. We know that. Next 2 weeks are critical. This week, I think we're going to see some stuff which will be absolutely groundbreaking. Department of Defense unveils terrifying new COVID protocol. What is that? Well, this is from CNN. The Department of Defense has released the first images of a COVID-19 vaccination record card and vaccination kits. So the vaccination cards will be issued to everyone getting COVID-19. So guess what that means? You won't be, more than likely, you want to get on a plane and fly to point A or point B or point C, won't be able to do that, not without your vaccination card. You want to go overseas, can't do it without your COVID-19 vaccination card. This is incredible where we are. And as we had Dr. Paul Lacat on it, and there's been very positive email for the most part on that. There's always a few people who are, who just want to rag, and that's their prerogative to do that. And we have free speech here, and we don't delete comments in PPS Report on our YouTube channel unless they're absolutely hateful, and then we'll report them. But the bottom line is, Dr. Paul was saying that, there are some vaccines which do not have fetal cells in them. They were not brought about through the use of fetal cells from aborted babies. So, okay, we know that. But we still don't know what's in them. I, for one, will not take the vaccine. I'm leery of it. I think the thing is rolled out way too quickly. And I think this whole thing is still a scamdemic. We were supposed to be on vacation for the next 10 days. We were supposed to leave yesterday. Peggy came down with the dreaded mahukas, as my friend Andy says, and she's not feeling well. We're going to get a COVID test today. I don't think it's COVID. She doesn't have the symptoms. She's not running a fever, but she feels like a Mack truck hit her. So she may have some sort of a flu bug. We don't know, but we are going to go get a COVID test today. You can keep us in your prayers. Also, this man called Hadley, he has been hospitalized. He's elderly, in his 70s, and he does have COVID, and he's having trouble with it. Please keep him in your prayers that he would rebound and he would be well. So this is what's going on. I find it just incredible where we are with this whole COVID thing. They're ramrodding these, Operation Warp Speed vaccines. Okay, but what the heck is in them? I have a right to know what's in the vaccine that I'm going to put in my body. I have a right to know that. If it's RNA, so where did that RNA come from? What are you putting in? Plant DNA here, RNA? I want to know what's in the vaccine. If you have not seen this clip, this was on Tucker. Heartbreaking. Los Angeles pub owner cries for help, goes viral, and rightfully so. So she's got a pub right across the street from her. You've got all these tents outdoors where the movie industry, they're shooting a movie. Well, they're all going to, all the actors and the whole crew, they'll all go to their tables and dine. But she can't open. This is unbelievable. Where's the science behind this? So Governor Newsom out in California allows the movie industry, they're essential. Oh, they're essential. They're allowed to do their deal, and everyone's dining right outdoors under these tents. Hundreds of people, the cast, the crew, the whole deal. And this woman can't open her pub? What are we looking at here? This is draconian, and the good people of California need to stand up and push back against it. You want to know why? And I keep talking about this. The real agenda behind COVID-19 is to break the back of the American middle class. That's what it's designed to do. And so far, it's done a wonderful job at that, because thousands of businesses owned by mom and pop are gone, completely gone. We'll never see them again. And what that does is all the people that were employed, they're out of work. See where this is going? We are looking at a 2021 financial tsunami in this country. And when it breaks, it's going to get nasty. When Trump is reelected and the courts decide it. Either the Supreme Court or it goes back to the House. And when the House votes, just so you know, each state gets one vote. Each state gets one vote. Trump will win when it goes back to the House. This will make the left-wing media go berserko. It will make the Democrats go berserko. They'll start going, this is unfair. You stole the election from us. No, sirs, madams. You stole the election from us. We've got the proof. We've got evidence of this. The election is absolutely fraudulent. Why not hold the election over again? And instead of using these ballot, count them manually, especially in the battleground states. It was stolen. So, a lot's going on here with the COVID-19 thing. It's just, look, folks, let me say this. We need to pray for our president. We need to pray for our country on one hand. On the other hand, stock up on food, water, and ammo, because it could get really crazy here. Because the vitriol, this isn't like 50 or 60 years ago, where people would sit around a table and talk politics. It doesn't work that way anymore. Now you've got people who get violent and tear down statues and yell and scream and storm your house and do other crazy things. So it's in no way am I condoning any type of violence. But we need to understand that we do have a Second Amendment, and that Second Amendment allows us to arm ourselves to protect our loved ones and our family. And I can't stress that enough. Stockpile up on food, water, and if you don't have a firearm, maybe now's the time to get one, because it could get really crazy here. It's already getting crazy in certain cities, and what about that couple, I think it was in Missouri, where BLM came in, the gated community, and they were yelling, we're going to kill you, rape your wife, and kill your dog. And they had an AK-47, and the woman had a pistol, and they stood outside and defended their property. And lo and behold, they stopped the intruders. And now they're being prosecuted by an overzealous Democrat prosecutor. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. Lots going on Monday, but that's where we are. Dear Mr. President, we will not stand by and watch foreign and domestic enemies further destroy our constitutional republic. 80 and more million of us request that you use the Insurrection Act, suspend the December Electoral College vote, and set up military tribunals immediately to properly investigate and resolve the cyber warfare that happened on 11/3. Further, we request you suspend the January 6th Georgia Senate runoff race and the January inauguration until this issue is resolved. And frankly, it needs to be resolved. It absolutely needs to be resolved, and hopefully we will see that in the coming days. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Freedom Health Alliance, 888-910-0341, 888-910-0341. Here's a testimonial. I want to give a shout out to Freedom Health Alliance. I ordered some items from them a few weeks ago. I highly recommend the Active Silver Gel. It's an ointment and healer all in one. It helps heal and moisturize my skin, then helps me get some nutrients too. I rub this gel on my ankle that tends to get sore easily, waking up the next morning and feeling ready to go. Everyone I spoke with at Freedom Health Alliance, start to finish, made my order process easy, made me feel like family. It's nice to have companies like Freedom Health Alliance. I highly recommend supporting this company. That's from Faith. Folks, freedomhealthalliance.com, freedomhealthalliance.com. They are running a special for politics, prophecy, and the supernatural viewers, 888-910-0341, 888-910-0341. You order by phone, order any product, they will give you your choice of products absolutely free. Thanks so much for supporting our sponsors. We believe in them. That's why they're here on Politics, Prophecy, and the Supernatural Report. We'll see you on the other side of the break. I'd like to introduce you to one of our new sponsors. It's Freedom Health Alliance. As you may or may not know, many of our freedoms are currently under attack, including freedoms to choose natural health products, as well as the natural wellness industry as a whole. It's happening, folks. Freedom Health Alliance is a solid faith-based Christian group of people that have a mission to provide only the finest hand-selected natural health products, with a rich history dating back thousands of years. Due to overbearing controls placed on natural health products, you will not see any claims or health conditions discussed on their website. Folks, I believe these guys are the real deal. I've spent time talking to Doug, who's one of the company's reps, and he assures me that these products are incredible. I haven't taken them long enough to weigh in on them yet, but I hope some of you that have taken it maybe will write in with a testimonial. But please check them out and help support their mission at www.freedomhealthalliance.com. www.freedomhealthalliance.com. We welcome them to Politics, Prophecy, and the Supernatural Report. And when you go to their website and you start reading your testimonials, and you might want to purchase this, please shoot us an email and let us know how it has affected your life. We have a very special guest on, Al Matthews. And Al was the centerpiece in our first film, independent film, that we made called In Their Own Words. We are actually in the process of re-editing that and redoing the film. That was our first film, and we can make it better. A director's cut, a true director's cut is in the works here. But leaked reports from the Pentagon UFO Task Force discuss non-human technology, mysterious objects, not made on this earth. Top secret Pentagon UFO Task Force reportedly expected to reveal some findings. This would be the sixth rung on the disclosure ladder. It is happening. UFOs have gone from tabloid tinfoil hat wearing people to mainstream. This is Fox News right here. It's absolutely unbelievable what is going on. And I think maybe before Christmas, I'm not a prophet here, but maybe before Christmas we will go to the number 6 rung on the disclosure ladder. Maybe they will give us pictures, video, we'll see. They're going to reveal some of these findings. Well, what does that look like? Film, pictures, testimony, all this and more. Anyway, folks, check this out. This is from our good friend Al Matthews. We recorded this last week. I think you'll find this absolutely interesting. We'll see you right after the interview. Well, thanks for keeping it right here on Politics, Prophecy, and the Supernatural. We're about to go full-blown into the supernatural. My guest here is Al Matthews. If you have not seen In Their Own Words, I'm actually in the process of re-editing the film. It was my first independent film, and I can make it better, and that's what I'm going to do. But Al, just a little bit backstory here. Al became the centerpiece of the entire film, really. Al has been abducted, was being abducted many times. He's now a born-again, spirit-filled Christian, and that's what basically stopped the abduction. So the name of Jesus is more powerful than any other name, and that's how Al was able to get out of this lifelong, really, abduction and dealing with these entities. So now he's up in Vancouver, and he kind of helps people that are trapped in it to get out. So it's amazing what you do, Al, and thanks again for coming on PPS Report.
My pleasure, LA. Once again, we haven't talked for almost a year now, and as you know, going through some, time flies, and I can't say because we're having fun, because what's going on around the world is just nuts. But lots of fake news out there. I had to put that in. It's as bad up here as it is down there, if you can believe that. But it is. And what I've been doing lately is talking to some young lads, I'd say in their 30s, that work in the moving business. And some of these guys, I asked them right away, I go, do you have any stories when you were younger? And they're right away. I mean, I talked to 3 or 4 lads in that age group in their 30s that are telling me their parents were abducted. They've been abducted. Now their children are being taken, all by the Greys. Every single time it's the Greys. And I can tell when I'm talking to somebody and I'm looking in your eyes, the folks I'm talking to all have the same traits of, you can tell they're scared, they're paranoid, they want answers. Wow. Some of them have turned to Christianity. I wanted to hug them as soon as I heard that, and that's helped them. Others are just very confused. I'll tell you a couple of very interesting stories. There's a place called Haida Gwaii, which is up the west coast, up past Vancouver Island. People can Google that. It is some of the most beautiful scenery on earth. Just absolutely stunning. Well, the folks that live up there, I was hearing a story from this one guy. He's about 35 years old. I said, oh, you lived in Haida Gwaii. That must have been amazing. He goes, it's beautiful, but I moved down the coast to get work. And I go, yeah, I understand that. And he was telling me, I go, tell me a couple of stories if you have any. Are there missing people up there? And he goes, there's so many people that go missing. They go into the woods. even older ladies going berry picking, people picking mushrooms, go into the woods. They're never seen again. And you don't hear about that. That stuff is coming out with people like David Pilates, as you well know. And there's another gentleman, his name's Steve. He has a show called How to Hunt. He's getting hundreds of emails a week, and it's all on paranormal stuff now. He used to do the hunting thing. He's doing all this stuff on Sasquatch sightings, orbs, UFO sightings, people going missing. This guy's in cahoots with David Pilates. They're working together. Great guy, BC guy. But getting back to that story in Haida this one lad I was talking to, he told me when he was a young boy, him and his friends were told by one of the elders, if you go into the woods and you hear singing, like singing or little baby crying when you're way in the bush, and it makes no sense why that would be happening, either flee, get out of there, or go up in a tree if the voices are that close to you. This kid went up a tree, and he was hearing this singing. All of a sudden, he looked down. He saw four little, what he would call leprechauns or dwarfs. He said they were about 2 feet tall, and they were dancing around the tree, singing in this little childlike voice. And then one stood back and knew he was there and looked up in the tree, and it said to him, "Come sing and dance with us." He looked at it, and he was shaking. He knew it was evil. It had black eyes. How many times have we heard that? And he was told by his elder, do not engage with these things. That opens the door. And I go, I'm glad you listened to your elder. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be here telling me this story. And I go, I've heard it over and over again, from black-eyed children to all these different people seeing these weird beings. Do not engage with them. Now we're hearing the Bigfoot sightings out here, LA, are off the charts. I wanted to show you one that I have from this gentleman from How to Hunt, and I also would like you to hear the voices they're hearing in the woods north of Alberta, up in Fort McMurray, way up north, where there's all kinds of UFO sightings. Gord, could you help me with this? Like, how do I?
Where's your phone?
My phone's right here. You got to hear this. It is nuts.
Yeah, just show it.
Yeah.
In front of the camera.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Crazy.
I mean, if you were out in the woods, even if you had a buddy with you and you were armed and you heard that, that would send chills right up your spine.
That's what he was saying. Doesn't matter how big your gun is. He goes, that thing sounded ginormous. And I have one more shot of somebody that took a picture of this thing. He didn't even see it at first.
So here's a couple of examples of that photograph that was sent to me, and I lightened it up myself and zoomed in on it just for the hell of it. Could be a face in there. Obviously, we'll never know.
Can you see that or no?
But you know, as I emailed back to the person with the photograph, to duplicate that photo, I don't even know if you're going to find anybody tall enough to duplicate that being, whatever that is in that photograph. I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll go back there and it'll still be there. It's actually a fuzzy stump. Probably not, though, right?
People are seeing more and more stuff. And David Pilates did another one of his interviews about last time I talked to you, probably about a week and a bit ago. And he was talking about the areas where I live. Golden Ears Park, Upper Pitt River, this place called Eagle Mountain, where all these people are going missing. He went up there with a couple of RCMP and walked into this place, and they walked out 10 minutes later. Silent, dead silent, and they felt like they were being watched. He said it's one of the creepiest places I've ever been. And for David Pilates to say that, that's something. I mean,
No kidding.
right? So these things are manifesting all over the place. So what's that tell you?
Well, you know what? It's really interesting that if you go back 20 years ago, yeah, there were Bigfoot sightings, but they were few and far between. Like you're saying, now they're manifesting. They're everywhere. They're manifesting all over the place. People here in Oklahoma see them all the time here in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So it seems to be, I don't know about a global phenomenon, but it's certainly in the United States and into Canada. So it really makes us wonder if we're moving, if these are the beasts of the earth, the Therion, that the book of Revelation talks about, and we don't know. I mean, I'm speculating here. Are they part of that? They certainly could be. Whatever they are, and I believe, as Ron Moorhead, who studied them and written several books on them, Quantum, Bigfoot, and Sierra Sounds, that they are Nephilim, and that's what I believe that they are.
I agree.
I prove that, but that's what I think they are. Al, thanks so much for coming on the record. Your closing thoughts before I let you go.
Well, everyone, take care of themselves. We're really in troublesome times. Show no fear. I mean, these things are all over the place now, and that's a fact. And the problem with it, too, is they're telepathic. That's why a lot of these people are going missing, just to say that, yeah, they can read your mind, tell you to come into the woods, and you're never seen again. So people that are camping, hunting, fishing, whatever, be careful. This stuff is all around us now. So,
and I would also add that if anyone has an encounter or anything like that, immediately call on the name of Jesus. Immediately call on the name of Jesus.
Yep.
Don't even hesitate for a second.
This is all coming from the same source, I believe. Most of it, anyway. From UFOs to Bigfoot to all these different cryptoids, it's all coming from the same source. So
yeah, it's all from the dark side. I certainly agree. Al, thanks so much for coming on, and we're not going to let a year pass before you come back on again. So thank you.
Good to see you.
Great interview from Al. And remember, folks, you can go to our site, lamarzulli.net. Lots of Christmas specials there. Shameless plug, episode 6 is shipping. We've got them. In fact, we've reordered. We're almost out of them. I think we're down to like 100 left. We should get more by the 11th. So don't despair. You'll get them before Christmas. You can go to streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net, and watch all 6 episodes for under $25. Thank you, folks, for watching Politics, Prophecy, and a Supernatural Report. Please keep our president in prayer. Thank you for coming here on a daily basis. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Thank you for supporting us. Merry Christmas. We'll see you either on the air or in the air.
That this cannot be a human being. It has to be something else.
We don't have that in our features.
You can't push that back in anatomy. You can't do any kind of head manipulation to do that.
This could be a result of a genetic anomaly.
So this has to be genetic.
This is almost like a whole new mutation line.
Yes, it's definitely a genetic anomaly.
It is about a third, 30% larger.
And that's why it has to be genetic.
Right.
You cannot create this with pressures.
I think we're looking at a whole different species.
And this you cannot make by creating the skull.
This is definitely something that is genetic.
Another genetic anomaly.